Hey everybody. I have a full white-faced ewe fleece here, and this is a pretty heavy fleece. This is probably about 10 and a half pounds, something like that. Very, very thick, very gorgeous, beautiful wool. So one of the things that we'll talk about today is skirting a fleece. Now, what that means is we're going through and we're looking for these little bits on the edges like this that are maybe second cuts, or I'll show you another little bit here. I'll walk it right up to the camera. There's going to be bits on here that are just covered in dirt or fecal matter, and this is the reason why you really want to wear gloves when you do this, to protect yourself. So we're pulling this stuff out because it's just really not worth it to clean this sort of fleece. It's a little bit more labor intensive than we really want it to be. So we're going around all of the outside edges and we're looking for that kind of grody material, and we're just pulling it off and throwing it to the side. That'll probably go into compost or mulch. You could even throw it in the trash, but why not give it a second life in your garden? So we take out all those little gross bits, and then what we're left with is what we would consider a good skirted fleece. Now from here, what we're going to do is, if there's any little bits of vegetable matter that we can get out, clean some of that stuff out, we can do that right now, but better off to wait until after scouring. So next we'll go into how to scour some of your wool, to clean it up, to get it ready for more processing.
Okay, now that we've skirted all that fleece, what we're going to do is we're going to scour it. So scouring is just a simple way of saying, or a more complicated way, I guess, of saying cleaning. So I have a plastic bucket here. I'm going to do a little bit smaller load because I don't have a facility to be able to do a huge amount of fleece. And doing it in a bucket like this keeps your sink clean. It keeps, a lot of people will throw them into like lingerie bags or something like that, and then throw it in the washer, soak it for a while, drain it, soak it again, and then they'll put it on spin cycle to get all the water out. The problem is that if there's still a lot of lanolin in the wool, that can coat the basin of your wash machine, and it requires another deep cleaning. I don't like to have to deal with that, so what I do is I just do it in a regular plastic bucket like so. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this water hot first, and then we're going to add, I use just Meyer soap. You can use Dawn dishwashing liquid. You can use a wool wash if you like. That's fine. But something that's going to cut the grease on the wool, because you don't want to leave all this grease in. Now, the important thing is that we don't want our water to be too hot. We'd like it to be kind of tepid or room temperature. That way you can assure that it's going to stay the same temperature all the way throughout. If you get it too hot or too cold, you run the risk of felting the wool, which you don't want, at least not right now. So we'll add, first I'll put some water in here. Now I'm going to come in from the side so that I'm not spraying the fleece directly. And once we've got a good amount of water in here so that we can submerge the entire fleece, now we're gently going to pat it down into the water. Now, you've likely removed all of your second cuts and most of the fecal matter or organic material from this, but if you have allergies, I would really highly recommend using some rubber gloves at this point. You might also want to use rubber gloves anyway, just in case there were little bits of something that you missed, but for me, I'm pretty confident that I got everything that I wanted to get out of this. So I'm going to bring the camera over here in just a second, and show you, even with just this small amount of fleece, what's starting to come out of it. So give me just a minute to get this a little bit more full and I'll show you what we got going on. Okay, so I have my dish soap in here and it's already starting to cut some of the grease. Now you can see over here this water is fairly clean, but watch this when I push down on the fleece. You see how dirty that water is? This is all the dirt and muck that is coming out of just that small bit of fleece that I have in here. There might be maybe, I don't know, half a pound, maybe a little bit more than that, but we're starting to get all of that stuff out of this fleece. So you notice that I'm not agitating this like a lot. I'm just gently pushing down, because if we agitate it too much while it's wet like this, what's going to happen is that this is going to felt. So I'm also just reaching in and kind of loosening up a couple of the locks that I can feel if there's a little bit of extra dirt in there. And so we're going to let this soak for about 20 minutes. And then we will come back and we will drain it and we will do a rinse and allow it to soak again. So we'll see you in about 20 minutes. Okay, so now we've been through the second rinse. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little stopper, just kind of set it in the sink a little bit sideways, just so that the water can drain out of there. And I'm actually going to lift the fleece out of the bucket and put it in the sink. That way all that dirt and everything that we got from the second rinse will just kind of fall out of the fleece. Now, you're going to want to be really careful with this because you don't want to felt your wool. So we're just going to lift, and if some of it falls off, that's fine. Little bit of the water drain out. And now I'm just going to set it in the sink very, very gently. We don't want to felt it. And let me get this last little bit out of here. And this is just clear rinse water. So all we're doing is just, there's no soap or anything in this. You can take this out and dump it in your garden. It's got a lot of nutrients in it. That might be a really good way to go with this. But for me, today, I'm just going to go ahead and drain it into my sink. Okay, so now I've got the fleece drained and I don't want to make a mess all over my house. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that fleece and just go ahead, let a little bit more of the water drain off. I'm not squeezing or anything. I'm just allowing it to naturally drain. And I'm just going to go ahead and set it right back in the bucket. Okay, so now that we do that, we're going to go find a towel that we can roll this up in, and we can squeeze out that excess moisture and lay it out to dry. Okay, so I've got my towel here, I've got my fleece here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it out of the bucket and we are going to just set it in this towel like so. And we'll spread it out just a little bit. Not too much, you don't want to fuss around with it too much. But just so we are able to get some nice air movement underneath the pieces of fleece. And so now what we're going to do is we're just going to take this towel, fold that edge over top, and we're just going to roll the fleece up in the towel. So we're not agitating it or anything. We're just rolling it up in the towel. Roll it all the way up, and then you can press on it, and this towel will suck out all of the extra moisture that's still trapped into that fleece. At this point, you can also squeeze really good on this towel. Try not to, don't yank it around, but you can squeeze, and you see that a lot of this moisture is starting to come out of the towel. Now what we're going to do is I am probably going to take this towel out to the front porch and lay it out, because it's a nice protected area where we're not going to have any wind or anything like that. The animals probably won't bother with it. I'll take that out, unroll the towel, and I will let it dry outside. And that's all there is to scouring fleece. Fairly simple process, a little bit labor intensive, but it's definitely worth it in the end. In the next video, we're going to be talking about hand carding and picking out that extra vegetable matter and preparing your fleeces for spinning.